This is a YouTube video about going to Perth, as you can see in the words on the screen. And you're going to come along for the ride with me. So I went to Perth last year from Sydney, flew across for 3 or 4 days, and it was a really cool time. A lot of the video will probably be shots from the plane because that's what I took videos of the most. But that's alright because it looks nice. There's a fun red bit on the end of the plane, and then some nice blue in the sky, and the white fluffy clouds are nice too. Anyway, it was a nice flight. I was expecting to fly across at the centre of Australia, but actually we ended up going down like the bottom, like past Adelaide and along the coast, so I didn't get to see much of the centre. But that was okay because I got to see some of the coast as well, which was nice. And it was still pretty, and it was still cloudy most of the time too anyway though. But it was really nice. Soon, I really like these clouds. They're super like lines and stuff. I like flying and get to see all the different sort of clouds from above. One day I'll learn their names. I like this shot in particular because of how blocky the sky and the clouds were. It looks very painting-like, I think. Anyway, we'll start to see more interesting things from the plane now. You can kind of start to see the ground a little bit, and then we'll get to see some of the coastline as well. This is somewhere along the bottom of Australia, probably a little bit further west of Adelaide, I think, but kind of around there. Now we're getting back up towards Perth, over the land again. Perth's a lot further south than I thought it was as well. But anyway, we're getting into Perth now. That's part of Perth, and it's a pretty cool looking city from above. I was expecting it to be super hot and sunny when I got there, but it was not. It was very cloudy, and it started raining, but that's okay. I didn't do anything the rest of that day. But the next day, I went to Freo and hung out with a friend mostly, so I didn't really take any videos. But here's some photos that I took. I really like Freo. It's really nice. Old, and there's some cool boats, and the dock's nice, and the buildings are nice. And it was a fun time just hanging out. Definitely like to go back there at some point. The next day, I went for a walk in the morning along the river, found some birds, found the Optus Stadium, which is pretty cool looking, and then I went for a walk through the city. I was kind of intending to go for a short walk just along the river from the city, but that kind of didn't work out. I really like this bridge, and then you can see it in the distance, so I walked there and then kind of kept going, and just kind of kept going and going. But that's okay because it was nice. And here's a bridge that I really liked. I liked the design of it. Very brutalist, I guess. But yeah, that's the bridge in the distance, and the city further back, and that's where I walked from, and we're still not even done. There's the boathouse, iconic. It's very blue. It's fun. Eventually, I made it to the Botanic Gardens, which are like far away from the city on the other end. This is actually kind of the bushland next to the Botanic Gardens, which is even further away. But this is more Botanic Gardens, and they're awesome, honestly. Kind of my favourite part about the city is how they're kind of just plonked in the middle of the city, and you get this awesome view over Perth. This is kind of peak hour, I reckon. Wasn't that many cars usually, but yeah, this awesome view in the middle of this like gardens and bushland just over all of the city. And it's really nice, and there's people kind of just hanging out there. I was there like kind of around sunset sort of vibes, which yeah, it was just a nice chill vibe. It reminded me less of Sydney and more of the country, which I like. That's me, by the way. Look at just standing and having a look out over stuff. Anyway, my legs were very sore by this point, so I decided that I would go and find some grass and have a sit down, which was nice. So I watched the sunset for a bit. As you can see, there is my shoe, and watched out over the city as it set. Then that's kind of it for that day. I went back to the motel after a bit more walking, which was alright. The next day was the last day, and I went to the beach, and honestly, I felt like it was kind of overrated. I was kind of hyped for the beach, but they weren't that great. Here's some photos I took. Maybe there's better beaches. I'll find them eventually. Anyway, this is the flight home now. I thought it was going to be like kind of yuck because it was the overnight flight, but it actually turned out to be pretty sick. So it's the takeoff, and I got to see all the lights out over Perth, which was really fun. Getting to see it coming in the daytime, and then at night time seeing all the lights was pretty cool. It was just very pretty and twinkly, and yeah, I liked that. It was nice. So just you can enjoy the view as well. Yeah, I don't know how this is going, but we're still going. Anyway, once we got to the other side of Australia, back towards Sydney, the sun started to rise, and then it got even more epic because these are the lights of Sydney now. And then you get the sunrise, and then it got cloudy, and the sunrise got even better, and it just looked so epic. Very much worth it for the kind of lack of sleep from flying. This is landing back in Sydney, as you can see. IKEA, iconic, very cool. Anyway, this is kind of the end of the video now. Landing back in Sydney. It was a fun time. I hope you enjoyed watching along. Maybe you did. I don't know if anyone's still watching, but I hope you had fun. I'd like to go back to Perth one day. We'll see. Hopefully I'll make some more videos soon. Maybe I'll make some with talking again. Who knows? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Here's a bird. Goodbye.